That is how the bank earns their most important income, which is called as the net interest income. Difference between the lending rates and the deposit rates. So some basic understanding of how the bank is making it. Account, whatever funds are available, the bank doesn't offer any interest to the customers. So it's a very cheap fund available for the bank. And always keep in mind, it is the value of funds which is lying in your savings account, which is lying in your current account, and which is lying in your fixed deposits. That funds only the bank will utilize for lending. Otherwise, the bank doesn't have money on its own. The funds lying in the savings, current and fixed deposits only. Of course, there is a limit on which total this much value they have. They cannot lend all the amount. There will be a calculation, so there are certain reserves which the bank has to maintain. The rest only they will be lending to the public. Okay. So, from where is the bank getting the money for lending? It's from this account. So when you take that into consideration, the funds lying in the savings account, you have to pay an interest at least 4%. FD of course 7%. But the funds in current account, no interest the bank is paying. So those funds they can utilize for lending, but when they lend, what they will earn interest. So that is how the bank earns their most important income, which is called as the net interest income. Difference between the lending rates and the deposit rates. So some basic understanding of how the bank is making income. So when the fund is available very cheap, bank can make use of this funds for lending. Current accounts are normally very important for business of the bank. Okay, and to these current account customers only they are lending. And when I talk about a current account customer, in case of savings account, what accounts all we saw? Savings we saw, normal savings account, we saw salary account. You may have an NRI account also. All are in the names of individuals, right? All these accounts are opened in the name of individual. So when it comes to a current account, of course, you can open a current account in your individual name. No issues in that. Okay, but depending upon the type of business, there are different constitutions of current account. I am doing some business in my home itself. I don't have a separate outlet or I don't have a separate place where I am running a manufacturing unit or nothing like that. All the business I am running on myself. Okay, in such case, I can approach the bank to open a current account in my name. Of course, limitations will be there, right? And the volume of funds involved in that will be very comparatively lesser compared to other current accounts. So you may get a question like, can individuals open a current account? Of course, you can open a current account in an individual's name, right? But mostly business people, less accounts only will be opened in the name of an individual because the constitution of each business will differ, right? So there will be a person who is opening the account and then he is running a business, he is running on his own, but he wants that business to have a separate name. But he is the sole owner of the business. There you call that business as a sole proprietor. I'll give you an example. I am at home, okay. I'm doing a sari business in my home. Okay. So lots of funds are coming in. My home itself, I made a makeshift and I have a small shop like thing. So I don't want, and I'm running it in my name itself. So I can approach a bank to open a current account in my name. Okay, the business is doing very well. So I have an idea, let me start a showroom or a boutique somewhere. So I'm finding a good location and I'm going to start a boutique there. I'm giving a name for it. So all these days I was doing it in a house in my name, but when I'm starting a boutique, I wanted to name it and I wanted to have an account in that boutique's name. But I am the sole owner of it. So that account, when I approach a bank for opening an account in the name of that business concern, you will call that as a sole proprietor account. Because there, I'm not opening the account in my name. I'm opening the account in the name of my business concern. So now you know what a sole proprietor is, right? So I'm only controlling the company business, but I want a separate account in the concern's name. So I can approach the bank and open an current account in the name of the business concern. So what is the documents required? KYC documents are required. KYC differs from one current account to another based on the constitution. So here the constitution is sole proprietor, but only I am involved. So my KYC is enough. My PAN card is enough for the form. Okay. My ID and address proof is enough, but since the account is opened in the concern's name, some registration certificate of that concern also will be required to be submitted. So that's a business sole proprietorship. Then there are business concerns which may be run on a partnership basis. So there a partnership deed will be there. 2 or 3 partners are there. All the KYC of these 2-3 partners. Partnership registration deed, their registration, government registration certificates in the name, and a PAN card needs to be taken in the name of the business concern partnership. So when I'm going to approach a business account customer to open a current account, the first thing we will check with them is what type of account would you like to open? What is your business concern? Is it a proprietorship or is it a partnership? Or is it a private limited company or a public limited company? So current accounts can be opened in the name of public limited companies, private limited companies. So depending on this constitution, what happens? The documentations required also will differ. So a public limited company, more documentation. A public limited compared to a private, more documentation. So all the list of documents KYC for opening the accounts of these concerns will be there in your bank, which you can check. So we needn't by heart all the documents, or there will be a portal where you can check on all what are the KYC documentations required to open a business account. So in this business account, the bank will have different types of current accounts. So constitution is different, the current account type is also different. When I say types, based on the balance they can maintain, the account product and features will differ. There is an account which requires 50,000 rupees as minimum balance. A sole proprietor can also open that account. A business partnership also can open that account. A private limited also can open that account. What is the criteria? They have to maintain an average of 50,000 in their account. So, but if it's a proprietorship, the documentation for opening that I will take different. Partnership, different documentation. Company. For current account, it's basically for business purposes. And what are the different constitutions of current account we have? Other things are also there, like trust, society, then LLP you will call limited liability partnership. So different types of accounts will be there. All these are business accounts opened by business people, and each bank will have their own different types of current accounts. So these are some of the basic things you should know when you are approaching or speaking to a customer about a current account. Okay, so now all of you will know what a current account is. What are the different types of businesses that make individual, sole proprietor, partnership, private limited, and public limited companies. So you may have different types of companies. Based on each constitution, the documentation differs and the type also differs. And main thing is bank doesn't offer any interest on the amount held in this current account.